Feels good to be back here. Welcome to my annual Rave Rewind 2024 edition. It is a two-part series where I deep dive on all the raves and festivals I have attended in the past year. I typically do this like first thing in the new year, so I apologize for this coming out later than usual. I've been pretty backed up, cranking out videos from my year-end trips to Japan, Korea, Decadence, Colorado, and California. So now we can get back to business. Rave Rewind Part 1, Money. I will give you an honest financial breakdown on how much I spent on raves in 2024. But before I do, here is a little recap on the past two rave rewinds. So right here, I will show you my annual spending, 2023 being considerably higher than the year before. And you can also see the total number of festivals, individual concerts, and after parties that I have attended. And here is a continental map of all the places that I have attended a rave. So let's see how 2024 adds up with the previous years. In January, I went to one rave at a venue in New York City called Marquee Nightclub. I hope that's the last time I ever have to step foot there. It was so crowded. I did not like my time. I like Arm & Hammer. I like their music. I only like their melodic stuff, and they only played like house music. February, I also went to just one concert. So this is one of my favorite raves of last year, and it was very inexpensive. Blank's show is what I thought Arm & Hammer was gonna be. And the highlight of March was my first festival of the year, Ultra. So day one was a disaster weather-wise, but I look back at it and I really felt that I had a great weekend. Days 2 and 3 had some incredible sets. Weather was really nice, great looking main stage. But compare it with other festivals, Ultra is on the more expensive side. And that is as someone who lives on the East Coast and only needs to take like a 2-3 hour flight. The ticket price is pretty standard. The hotels are very expensive. I stayed 35 minutes away from downtown Miami last year, and I used a bunch of credit card points to make this trip financially reasonable. On April, I took my annual pilgrimage to Project Glow. Project Glow is always so fun. I don't know what it is, and it is so cheap. I paid $198 for a Project Glow ticket last year for 2 days. I just checked this year's price. It's $136 for 2 days. How did it go down that much? So May was supposed to be a pretty cheap month. Only went to Odeon. Was giving out free tickets at the Brooklyn Mirage. I had a pretty good time at Mirage, which is saying a lot because they don't really have the best reputation. Towards the last half of the month, it was like EDC Las Vegas weekend. A bunch of people we knew were going, and then the FOMO hit us too hard. So the morning of, we found flights and everything, and we just flew to Vegas. And it worked because Vegas is 3 hours behind New York. So we did EDC for the first 2 days, Friday and Saturday, and then we sold our Sunday ticket, flew back here Sunday night, and then went right back to work on Monday without taking any time off. And when we sold the Sunday ticket to a mutual, there was actually a previous buyer that committed and sent us a small deposit, but then backed out. So our wristbands for the 2 days that we went was actually $240 after resale. And then we had some friends regarding like carpooling and beds. So the major purchase of EDC was the last minute flights that we booked the day of. In June, we hit up another festival, this one being Electric Forest. This was by far the most expensive festival I've invested in. And for those of you asking why I spent $975 on tickets where a single GA ticket was like $625, man, that's still so bad. I was covering a portion of Rachel's ticket so that we can go together. So the $975 was like 1.5 GA tickets. $975 is like, it's like 7 Project Glow tickets. I could have got 7 Project Glow tickets. But unfortunately, I don't believe my experience there justified the cost that I spent. And I know a lot of people will disagree with me. I avoid camping when it comes to festivals, and camping is a very fundamental part of the eForest experience. So I guess I kind of did it to myself. But I'm really glad I got to experience that festival. There's so much to see, so much to do. And I totally get why a lot of people love coming here. In July, I went to 2 concerts. One was on a boat. The speakers were pretty bad. I kind of forgot I was at a rave. The other one was on a pier. speakers were a lot better, but piers are narrow. So it was hella crowded. We moved all the way to the back and we just kind of stayed there for the majority. And I'm sorry, I feel like I've been complaining for the last couple raves and festivals in this video. I'm being a downer right now. Or I'm just getting old. August. Progress. In September, I went to a concert under an interstate bridge. All these weird venues I'm going to. But pretty soon after, I was at Lost Lands again. I have nothing more to add about Lost Lands than when I went the prior year. It's one of my favorite festivals. Taking into production the visuals, crowds, organization, the vibes. It's getting increasingly popular very quickly, so if Lost Lands is in your wish list, you should go sooner than later. One thing I also like about this festival, it's relatively close to where I live. It's only a 2-hour flight. And hotels in the Columbus metropolitan area, pretty cheap. You're not going to be paying that much of a premium at Lost Lands. In October, I went to Wax Trotta at the Brooklyn Mirage. It was pretty good, but to be honest, I don't have much commentary other than that. In November, I went to a concert for my friend's birthday. And early December, we went back to the same venue for Rachel's birthday. And we ended the year going to Decadence in Colorado. I'll say a festival in a convention center was very interesting. Wasn't that crowded. It was pretty well ventilated. It was surprisingly bright. Production and the decoration was as great as they could have done given the setting. What I actually felt was pretty crazy is that we went only one day. And that ticket was $223.84. That is a Project Glow and a half. I feel like that one-day ticket is the same as if you divide the Electric Forest cost per day. Wait, no, it's not. Electric Forest is 4 days. So in the year of 2024, I went to 10 concerts, 6 festivals, and 2 after parties, which cumulatively is much lower than the previous 2 years, so I hope the spending reflects that. And here's the same map again of the places where I raved. This time I added the past year. We're inching a little bit towards Middle America. And the amount that I spent on raves in 2024 is $10,448.89. Wow! That's pretty crazy. I thought it was way less than last year. That's a 45% increase in spending from last year. The main thing is, honestly, I just went to festivals that were a more financial commitment than the year before. This past year, I went to Ultra, I went to EDC Las Vegas, I went to Electric Forest, and I went to Decadence. Those were relatively expensive. I did go to EDC in 2023, but I spent a week right after that at home, so I didn't include the flight cost for that because I treated it as just a week of myself at home. And the Electric Zoo and Countdown festivals, I went to like 2023, but not the past year. I didn't need to worry about housing or transportation or it not existing last year. So thanks for tuning into a video about how much money I burned raving. You can see that from last year was a downtrend of the number of shows that we have gone to, and I kind of believe that that trend will continue. We'll be a little more selective. So hopefully this year in 2025, the spending line also begins going down. Motherfucker.